I've been both an investor and an entrepreneur, and I think this has been one of the best opportunities that young entrepreneurs and young CEOs have to come into a fairly friendly environment and get some really good feedback and meet investors that they'd have a hard time meeting any other way.
We saw some very interesting companies here today, and I collected some interesting business cards that I'm going to use.
Everybody is accessible, and I think that's critical to be able to get in front of people, shake their hand, give them that business card, establish that initial relationship.
I would highly recommend this. This is incredible value for the money, and any company that wants to grow and wants to move to the next step, they should be here. This is a great opportunity.
If you want to come to an event where you're going to be surrounded by the best investors and the best companies and really have a chance to showcase your talent, and really the best forum, the New England Venture Summit is really the only one, and youngStartup just does a great job in bringing together this talent. It's the best of its kind. This is the best event of its kind in New England. That's why we've been a part of it for 9 years, and we hope to stay a part of it for as long as I'm making the decision.
I'm very impressed with the quality of the startup companies. It feels like Joe and the team have done a terrific level of filtering to bring very interesting opportunities. That's been excellent. And I love the format. 7 minutes per company and then get out of the way. If we're interested, great. If not, let's move on to the next.
There are a lot of larger VCs here with a lot of experience, and they share their financial insights. And I mean, as a startup, you know a lot less about that, but you can learn a lot here.
We were able to run through our presentation, to make the changes both in delivery as well as content on the slide.
It's funny, I was thinking that some of these companies are going to be very successful. If you could call with 100% accuracy which ones, then one would do very well as an investor. It's refreshing to see that the startups very much are focusing on customers and solving customers' problems.
There's lots of neat technology that seems to be coming out that I didn't know about. And the obvious, we've also met with some VCs and investors who may be interested in funding us going forward. I was happy about the advice that they gave. Lots of advice around term sheets, exit strategies, how to engage a VC, when to engage a VC. I was impressed with the leadership of some of these startups. I mean, 10, 20, 30 years industry experience. I mean, some people may think as a stereotype that startups are only young people who lead them coming out of universities, but at the conference I was impressed to see people with decades of experience leading some startups. The role of a conference like this is quite important in connecting potential investors with startups and also connecting startups with other startups. It's hard to make cold calls to investors, and a place like this gives a reason for people to mix and mingle. When two people are face to face, they're better able to connect in a way that can't happen over email.
The conference has been terrific. The panel sessions have been invaluable, both in learning new things and relearning old things. I have to say the coaching session yesterday for CEOs provided a number of good inputs.
Truthfully, youngStartup always puts on a great conference. What draws me here is I think that there's a unique ability to really attract some of the top investors and some of the top entrepreneurs and innovators. Well, certainly the massive humanity that's here. I mean, that's an amazing amount of people that get to come to Boston in the middle of December. I think that's a testament to the kind of reputation that this conference has developed, and I'm glad I'm here.
For me, coming to New England Venture Summit has really been two things. One, of course, introductions for more term sheets and follow-on investment. But secondly, just the feedback is always so valuable to me to continue learning how to build an enterprise.
What it has done for us is provide us a platform to get introduced to the venture capital and other investor community. So it has kind of just opened the doors for us. Just the reach that we were able to get in one day, like we only had 7 minutes to give our presentation, but we knew that we were presenting to at least 50 to 100 different investment groups, which through any other venue, it would have taken us months to approach all of these people. I learned so much just by listening to those presentations and so many interesting ideas, problems that I was aware of, but never knew that someone was actually trying to solve those problems. I think it's a venue that will help a lot of companies get the resources they need to become successful and change the world.
I've been to numerous events, all over the world, and there's always never anything specifically really well developed, really well organized, so that every company that I see has a potential to be invested. And today is just one of those events where I sat down, and the moment I saw a pitch, I was really interested, and the way the development of the business plan and the business model and presentation is really well organized.
This is a great conference, good networking opportunities, a much bigger attendance than I was expecting.
Found it very worthwhile, yeah. It's a good group of people and a very intelligent room asking the right questions.
The benefit for both investors and for companies doing an event like this is it's a lot of valuable information traded in a very short amount of time, the kind of stuff that would otherwise take repeated schedulings and phone calls and so forth. So I think as a group, we look forward to doing these sorts of events on a pretty regular basis because of the intensity of information flow.
I was really pleased. There are some very high quality companies here. It says young startup, but in fact there are many companies here that are well into their commercialization. I think the panel sessions were also very well managed and well organized around topical themes for the young startup investor, things that you can't get in other settings or in other ways without some hard knocks. But you do get very good contact with a range of companies and quality time to sit down and explore with them exactly what it is that they're doing that's unique in the market. There are a half dozen companies that are on my short list, of which I could see myself investing in at least 2 or 3 of those.
I've been to many young startup conferences over the past, 3 years. I try to usually go to the ones that happen in New York and Boston, but I know they happen in many other locations, but always worthwhile. Today what I liked about was that there was, some of the VCs were willing to argue with each other. It's always good when you don't see complete agreement on the panels. For entrepreneurs, this would be a key place if you want to see all of the key venture capitalists in your area, whether it's the Boston event, you want to meet all the Boston VCs, as well as you'll probably get a few VCs from either California or New York. So you get to see the ecosystem of capital, both at the seed stage and at the venture stage.
Put on a terrific venue, fairly well attended from both venture capital as well as corporate pharma venture partners. Yeah, we connected with at least half a dozen investors, some that we made arrangements to speak once we saw they were on the menu and presenting, and we also had several come up to us afterwards, so couldn't ask for more. Highly recommended. I think anybody looking for angel or Series A or even Series B financing, this is one of the top venues I would recommend.
I think that Young Startup Ventures and the events they put together really bring a whole group of different companies that are not usually in the circuit in together in one meeting place, and I think it's a good opportunity for VCs to attend, to see what else is out there, but also a great opportunity for a company to be found and discovered. And I think you get a good audience and a good opportunity to present in front of a number of people that could well be your future board members.
I think there's a real opportunity for entrepreneurs and investors to connect here. It's very well attended by investors and a good number of companies. And as I said, the panels are fantastic as well.
The program's excellent. Networking probably was tops. I think the coaching that the startups got was excellent. I think the presentations on balance were solid.
I'd highly recommend this event to first-time entrepreneurs as well as serial entrepreneurs who want to hone their pitch in front of a live group. It's great training, great coaching.
I was very pleasantly impressed by how well attended the event was. There's a lot of VCs from all over the country here, and I see lots of deals being made in the hallways and everywhere I look. We're a family office fund that has invested between 60 and 70 million out of our latest fund.
My name is Vin Miles. I'm a venture partner with Abingworth. We have about $1.5 billion under management.
This is the third or fourth time I've been to one of these events. I find them very productive in terms of meeting companies that we might be interested in, either in the near term or to build a relationship with potentially an investment later down the line. Yeah, it's been a very productive day. I've seen about 10 or 15 companies that I will interact with over the next few weeks or even months.